your offense?
Well, I think the talent's something that everyone's kind of seen, but I think throughout camp it was just a matter of seeing him, and the consistency that he brings each and every day, his maturity, and his preparation, his maturity on the field, not just in the good times, but especially when there's adversity. So I just think that he had a very consistent, solid camp and did a great job. There's a lot of plays that he make that just give you a lot of excitement about what this season holds when he's playing quarterback for you.
You obviously saw him in the spring, but he was limited in some respects because of the injury. What maybe was different about him as you saw him in fall camp once he was full go that made you think, even as a redshirt freshman, kind of playing behind a guy with a lot of experience, he's the right fit for us?
Right. Because he didn't take really any team reps in the spring, it wasn't that there was anything different. It was more of him just proving that he could handle it. And he did that day in and day out. Just everything I threw at him, I felt like he kind of took in the right way and was composed about his daily business, not just on the field but off. And I think the guys have done a great job responding to what he brings, and they're excited about him taking the field as their quarterback.
When was the moment that you realized that Penix was going to be the starting quarterback?
I think it was really last week, and he took more reps with the ones last week. Before that, everything was split pretty even, and even including Jack. Jack's a great quarterback as well. I know a lot of people are talking about Mike and Peyton, but Jack's going to be an incredible quarterback in this program, and excited about his future. But just last week was really the time where we started really progressing that direction and kind of going with Mike.
You've talked about the need to have more explosive plays offensively. How does Mike fit into that schematically with your offense?
Well, I don't think it's as much about throwing the ball down the field. I think all three of our quarterbacks that we have right now can do that equally as well. Maybe there's one that has, maybe there's a stronger arm element to some of them, but there's also an accuracy part to it, and so it isn't just about throwing the ball down the field. What you hope Mike brings is that when he throws a ball, even on the short and intermediate throws, that it gets there faster, to where guys can make a play, with their legs and have a little more space to create yards after catch. So that's what I hope he can bring. And so it isn't just about, the deep throws down the field, which he had some beautiful throws down the field as well throughout camp, that we're counting on him making again this season.
Talk a little bit about what your plan is for all three quarterbacks in the sense of utilizing the other two guys, maybe if opportunity presents itself. Is that something that you have looked at this point, or is Michael going to get 99% of the snaps?
Yeah, right now we're rolling with Mike as our quarterback, and there might be times when we have a package, or different ways to do some things and get creative. You never know, maybe two guys on the field at the same time, because there's some athleticism, amongst those other quarterbacks as well. So, haven't dove into that a lot, but that's something that was in the back of my mind kind of as we, decided on Mike as being the quarterback, for sure.
You talked about locking arms with the quarterback before we went to camp. I mean, how's the dynamic change between you and Mike now that he's your starting quarterback and he's your guy?
Right. Yeah, I think it's developing, and I think it's going to be that way all season long. And the reason I say that is we have not been through any adversity together, and I think that's where you become tight is when the bullets are flying and things are intense, and especially when things aren't going well. I think that's where the relationship between myself and Mike and whoever's on the field, not just at quarterback but the other positions, that's where we grow, and that's where we fight, and that's where we, like you said, lock arms together and just know that we're all heading the same direction, and that we're going to do everything we can to make that day great, to make that next play great.
Being the offensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator, obviously some new tweaks. I don't know how much there's going to be seen in the change of offense, but
Yeah.
the success you've had prior to coming here, with the talent, is this the most talent you've had around you on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I think what you see is that you have more depth. You know, the higher level you go, you have more guys that are at an elite level. I mean, we can go all the way back to, there's been great players that could play at the Sioux Falls days here, you know, at Indiana. I mean, there just isn't as many of them. And so, like you're saying, the compilation of everything, there's more better players, you know, and it seems like you always are moaning and groaning about the amount of depth you have, right? Doesn't matter where you go, but we have some good depth. We have some good solid depth, especially at receiver, running back, quarterback, you know, and we're growing those numbers at tight end and O-line as we go here. And, I just give the staff a lot of credit, the quarterback room in particular, because that's where a lot of this conversation's been. But, Coach Sheridan and the staff putting together this room of quarterbacks. It's the one I'm walking into, and it's a great room. Not just the talent, but the type of people that are in that room, and the way they handle this, the way they even handle this situation. Just great people, and it's fun coaching this offense because it's not just the talent, but it's also the people and the guys buying in and wanting to do something special together.
Just kind of following up on that point, the depth and the experience that you have maybe at the receiver position or running back position, some of the offensive linemen, how much can that help kind of bring Mike along as he goes through some of these early starts?
Yeah, I think there's no question. What Mike lacks, right, would be the experience on the field and taking a lot of snaps. And so, there's a lot of guys that have taken a lot of snaps and been in those critical moments. And so, I don't think it's far-fetched to say that they need to all raise their game and help him along. But I know I'll be asking a lot out of Mike to rise up to the situation. And, like I said, the maturity he's shown throughout fall camp is something that gives me and lends confidence to him being ready and, not collapsing when those times come. So, but we certainly need to count on, the experience at receiver and the guys up front that have played a lot of snaps to make plays and to keep him protected and all of that. So it's a full offensive unit that needs to all work together, help each other out.
Obviously, Coach, you were in the MAC a couple years ago, Eastern Michigan. I don't know how much ball state's changed since then, but does that kind of help you? Because as far as game planning and looking at the personnel, you remember some of the guys that are still performing defensively?
There aren't many guys that I remember. We threw it a lot against them the last time I was there, but it's a different defensive coordinator, and but we had to throw, I think, 74 times or something like that against them. We had to come from behind. We fumbled the ball early in the first quarter and got behind quickly. But I have a gauge, because of being in the MAC. I have a gauge of, who they are and what they do, and I know they're going to come after us, aggressively, not just as a defense, but as a full team. They historically have played very well, early in the season. You look at last year, and they played some really tough, hard-nosed games, and I know their coaching staff, this being the opener, I'm sure has spent quite a bit of time preparing a game plan, and as a team, they're going to try to get this thing started right too. So we certainly know we're going to get their best effort right off the bat, and we need to be ready. We certainly be ready for expect the unexpected, and not just from them, but from my end. There's situations that come up that we haven't been together, we haven't fought through together or been through together as an offense. So I'm certainly ready for the unexpected there and having to adjust, as the game goes on.
All right. Thanks, Kalen.
You bet. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.